Hey everyone, it's Felicity kind of week for updates this time. Bit of a surprise. I know you've had Chloe recently. We did do a video 2 weeks ago where we did a stitch with us, and go back to that one because I explained where I've been and what's happening in that video. But if you haven't got the gist of it, Chloe started a new job. I've been still working at the school. We've gone through term 3. We've now started term 4. And of course I had a lot of family issues last term, so that kind of put me out of the filming for a bit. But I'm telling you now, I have a lot to show you. I have a couple of big things to show you that I can't wait, and I've been working on lots of many projects, and I have some plans coming up soon too. So stay for the ride, and for those who are stumbling new, welcome. This is a channel about cross stitch, and I normally show some knitting as well. And hopefully eventually down the track I may show some bubble lace when I get back into that. But yeah, welcome. If you're here, we do use a lot of acronyms, so I'm going to try and remember to explain them rather than use them all the time. If something slips past me and you don't know what it means, just ask me and I'll happy to explain it to you in the comments. But welcome to all the new subscribers. I know that Chloe and I have seen a definite jump recently, which is great. We love to do these videos and to get one up weekly for you, whether it's myself doing an update, Chloe doing an update, or both of us together doing a stitchy video. And since we are now in the middle of spring or heading into summer, hopefully Chloe and I might be able to get out on different locations and do some videos around there and show you lovely Adelaide. Adelaide's a lovely place in South Australia, in the capital city, and we'd love to go out and take you places. So the last time I did an individual video update, I think it was around July, and we were either just heading into doing Frogwat's Retreat and the Black Needle Retreat from the Black Needle Society, or we had just finished it. But I did manage to finish my Frogwat's piece. This for year 2, that's hanging up, and I'm going to eventually figure out how I'm going to finish them later on. But since then, I have been working on many different projects, but I did put a lot of focus into one of them. And this was one of my goals for this year. I really wanted to finish this project, and I did. And so we're going to start with some finishes. So the major project that I've been focused on since finishing the retreat is been my Mirabilia's Gypsy Queen. So this is a design by Nora Corbett, and this is number 142. And it's inspired by her grandmother, and it's in the blurb at the back. This mirror has DMCs like always. There are some blended DMC threads, some Whisper Gallery thread, which is very fuzzy to stitch with, lots of chronic, so very sparkly, has some Karen water lilies in there as well, and plenty of beads. And I started her on the 16th of May in 2019, and I proudly finished her on the 8th of August this year. Majority of the progress that I've done on her is actually this year. I'll put in a photo of what she was like at the beginning of the year, and then I'll also put in a photo of what you saw from her last time. But this is where she is at now, all finished, all beaded, all back stitched, and those beads are just shining. This she stitched on 32 count Jobelan Golddigger by Colour Cascades, not the old map style, just the regular one, and yes, just stunning. Let's come in close so we can show her off. So you can see we've got her face there and those beads. Now those trails are finicky, so then going up we can see her bangles. And then all the other decorations in her dress. There's also down here beads too, and these are trails, so there's about 2 or 3 different types of beads if we come in close. You can see there, there's some pink ones, there's some dark purple ones, and she's just fully blingy and beads everywhere. I am so pleased to have finished her. One of my goals for this year was to finish her, and because I have many of our mirrors on the go, but this one is completely not my style. Like, it's nothing I would have thought I would have done, but I just fell in love with the colours. And she looks so good on this fabric. So hopefully I will frame her soon, and I'll put her on the wall, probably near roses, so I may have to do some shifting around. so that they are facing each other. I'm hoping if I hold her up enough she might become my cover photo. The only adaptation I did myself to Gypsy is that I decided to stitch her skin 1/1, and there is a blended thread within her skin. And my tip when you're doing that 1/1 is to do the bottom leg of your stitch, whichever way you go, in the darker colour, and then the top leg of the stitch in that lighter colour. And that's how I work with the blends with 1/1. And you can't tell the difference. So let's see if I'll bring it up nice and close again so you can see, I can point out where some of these blended threads are. But coming up along here of her skin, there's a lot of blends. And you can't tell the difference, but there is that very subtle shade difference compared to the rest of her. Doing it that way actually made a lot more sense in my brain. Just came together a lot more, and it still has that blend effect that you would do if you were doing the normal blends with doing 2/2 stitching. But for when you're doing it 1/1, you can't do 2 strands. It's too bulky, especially on 32 count. And so doing that 1 strand with the bottom leg with the darker colour and then the next strand with the lighter colour worked brilliantly. I also had to do some finicky with some of the beads on the trails because, again, 32 count and Mill Hill beads, there are sometimes some gaps and things that don't quite fit in. The beads kind of crowd around too much. And so you just had to kind of work at what it was given there and go, okay, I can only fit 4 beads in this slot compared to 5. I'll just space them out a bit more evenly so they fit in nicely. But I am super proud of her, and hopefully you'll see her frame soon. The next project I decided to work on once I had finished Gypsy was the project that I picked up at the Show Me Retreat in 2019 that I saw in the store. It was a kit, it was a limited edition. I picked it up. The saying resonated with me because it reminded me of my Nana, Sheila and Granddad, who inspired me to stitch. And this one is the Someone We Love by Glendon Place. It is now released actually as an actual chart. She released it last year for market, I think, or it might have been this year, I can't remember which year it was, because everyone kept asking for it. So it's now not limited edition, but the one I bought was a limited edition and I bought it as a kit. So this one says, because someone we love is in heaven, there's a little bit of heaven in our home. However, mine is a little bit different. I changed the saying from saying in our home to in our heart, because that resonated more with me, that because there's someone in heaven, wherever I go, whether it's going to be at this house, when I'm teaching, out with friends, I always remember the people close to me in my heart. And that just made more sense to me from there. Now, this, I did say I bought the kit, however, I've exchanged out the fabric because the fabric that came with it was Ada. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to do something else different. So the fabric that this is stitched on is going to be 28 count. So it still is around 14 count. But it's Silver Ash Evenweave. And I bought it from Sewitall, Australia. And it's a really pretty colour. So again, here's our cover photo. And I just fell in love with it. It has beads on it. And it's all stitched with dinky dies. So these are the dinky dies, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a sec. This is it. So I love this piece. It was so good to stitch. And when actually putting some time and some focus on it, it didn't take that long to stitch, really. So I started this on the 1st of August in 2020. And the reason I started it then is because that's the date anniversary when my granddad died in 2007. So I wanted to start it on a day that I remembered them by. And I would have really loved to finish this in August. Time got away from me, so I actually finished this in September, on the 26th of September this year. And I love it. So there is dinky dies, and then of course there's beads around the edging, and in the middle we have the charm. And as you can see, I've changed it to say, because someone we love is in heaven, there's a little bit of heaven in our heart. And I just resonate with that so much more. It just makes so much more sense to me. And I love this fabric. So you're showing a little bit more greyish. In my eyes, it's a little bit more bluish, but it's still a lovely grey. Now, as I said, I bought this with kit, so the dinky dyes came with it. And the dinky dyes, I just put on one of the thread rings here. And we were given one strand of, like one skein of each of them. However, I'm very conservative in my floss, but I was panicking a little bit with one of them. So this one here is called Kayla's Roses, which is the pink. And that's mainly used in the border. And then from there we had charcoal, and then this charcoal is used in the writing. So there's one lighter colour, one darker colour. This is the one that I was really worried about, because this is all I have left of Bush Christmas, which is the main colour you use for the words. So if you're kitting it up yourself and you know that you're a little bit more heavy with your floss usage, or you don't want to worry about dye lots, I would get a second skein just in case. But as I said, that's all I have left. Then from there, they were using Matilda. So again, these are all like colour coding, and then that was also along the border. And then from there we had Distant Thunder, which is the other colour of grey in the wording. And the last one is Lagoon. I like this colour. This is like really cool how it changes. And then that's your colour palette, and most of those are done. It also came with the beads, and again, I know I should trust the designer with getting a kit, but again, I was panicking. But it ended up okay, because the only ones I was really running out of were the white ones. So these were the beads that we were given. And then you can see they don't have a lot of the white ones left. I have plenty of the silver. I was getting low on the green. Plenty of the darker maroon pink. And the dusty pink is fine. But yeah, the green and the white, I was definitely getting worried about in supplies. I mean, I probably have some of them anyway in my bead supply, but it was making me getting a little anxious. But I love this. Beading, I have no issues with beading. I love to bead. It does take me a bit longer though compared to just doing stitching, because I'm not used to working with like the beading or the invisible thread. And yeah. But one last look. So I've had two big finishes. This is actually 170 wide by 160 high. So it's slightly rectangular by 10 stitches, but you won't notice. And it's just gorgeous. I think I put the charm on there wonky too, but first time putting charms on, we can work with it. That was my first time ever doing a Glendon Place design. The designer is Cheryl Grander. And I have to say the pattern is really easy to read. Nice big pattern. I had photocopied it, so I had a working copy, which has now been destroyed. And the squares were big and easy to read. Sure, it was over 4 pages, but when you struggle sometimes with eyesight and you have to deal with no glasses and glasses, having big to read pages is great. But I'm so happy to have this done, and that means I have now 2 less whips for this year. So I've actually gone down from 20 whips, which I started at the beginning of the year. I did increase by 1 for frogwarts, but I knew I was going to finish that. And now I've done 2 big finishes, and so I am now down to 18. Also, if there's anyone out there who is stitching Someone We Love by Glendon Place, and I can see that you have the pattern, that you've started the whip, and you would, which is the work in progress, and you would like my change from changing it from home to heart, just let me know. I just want to make sure that you have at least started the pattern, or that you do have the pattern in your hands due to copyright. But yeah, I'm really happy with how that came out and how I was able to adapt that. Next, we are going to go into what I've been working on since I finished that. So as we're in October, and then we also had school holidays, I had 2 weeks off work where I did have some time to do a lot of stitching. Started off the holidays finishing Someone with Love, and then I was kind of like, well, what do I want to do? How do I want to go? And the way I went was, okay, let's see if I can focus on some Whip Go goals. Whip Go is a goal-based challenge that was designed by Jasmine, and it's kind of like a bingo board, and I'll put mine up here. And with that bingo board, you decide what goals you want to use throughout the year, and you put your projects, put your goals, and if you're anything like me, you're an overachiever, and you figure out that actually I can't do as many goals as I think I can, which is fine. So I decided, you know what, I'd done finished Gypsy Queen, I'd finished Someone with Love. I was going to look at my board, see what numbers were called for September and October, and go from there, or go back and finish some other goals. So in that case, what I decided to do is to go back and focus on one of those goals, and that project was one of my Heaven Earth designs. I love my big Heaven Earth and my full coverage, and they have fallen down the wayside a little bit this year. So just decided to go with it. This is my duty bag. It's a lovely big one. It's got teacups on it because I love tea. I'm actually drinking some tea while we're doing the video. And in here, I have a floss buddy from Bags Plus, which holds all of my flosses for this project. And you can see there's lots of greens, there's some blues, and some purples. So love this. It's great for Heaven Earth designs. I will be keeping my eye on the store to hopefully get us another couple of these, because it's so much easier to choose your flosses without having to use your master box. Except these ribbons, I love them, but my kitty cat also loves them and likes to play with them. So that's always fun. Now this Heaven Earth design that I'm doing is called the 20-Sided Dice Fairy, and it's by Jasmine Beckett-Griffith. You all know her. She does the lovely ladies that are animated with really big eyes, and my one doesn't look anything like that at the moment because I'm still on the top row, and it's still in the Q-snap because it's in a great spot to continue with. So this one I'm stitching in a diagonal method, and using an 11 by 11 Q-snap, and this is where I'm up to so far. So basically I've been working on her forehead and the green background. I will put a photo in of where I was up to last time, and I do have part of that covered up just because I don't want to move the Q-snap, and it's really easy stitching because it's just a couple of colours at the moment. I started this one last year on the 1st of May 2020, and I am working in diagonal blocks, as you can see. This is stitched on 25 count easy grid Lugana, and I have a mountain of needle minders on there because I love to park. Parking, parking, parking. But it's looking really good. I'm happy with what I've done so far. My Whip Go goal for this was either 1 page or 8,000 stitches, and because I'm not working in pages, I'm actually doing it by 8,000 stitches, and I'm done about 6,000 stitches so far for this particular goal, so I only have 2,000 left to go, and if I can focus on it maybe this week, and I should be able to get that done. I find because I'm working in the diagonals on this one, because the colours are so similar, I actually park down the diagonals and kind of stitch cross country and then park, that I can get easily 300-400 stitches done a night depending on how much I focus on it. And I use Pattern Keeper. Any full coverage people out there, Pattern Keeper on Android is your lifesaver. I have used Goodreader before when I was using my iPad, but yes, this is where I'm up to. So I've already finished one goal on 20-sided dice row. Did that at the very beginning of the year. Once I get these 2,000 stitches done, I will have also finished the second one on this particular project. So there was 2 goals on here. So hopefully I'll get that done in the next couple of weeks. So for me, October is catching up on goals. During the Stitch With Us videos that I've been working on with Chloe, where we kind of stitch and chat and answer questions, I've been working on this project consistently. So if you've seen our videos, you probably see where I'm up to, but I have done a lot of progress during that, and I'm actually happy to show you. So this is the Silhouette Lady, and it's by Artecy Cross Stitch Designs, and I started this one on the 15th of January last year, and I'm stitching it on 22 count Forbidden Fruit by Colour Cascades. that is what the colour's like. That's the colour. Like, this is amazing colour balance. And you can tell I've done heaps of work on this year. I've worked all on this skirt coming down with all those different swirls. I am stitching it with 310 DMC. I'm using 2 strands on the 22 count because I want the coverage. And you can tell why. And this is only half of the fabric. I actually have another half as well. So this is what this project I'll continue working on when Chloe and I are stitching together and chatting, because it's easy. I can just use 2 strands of the black, do the loop method, and I can have all my threads out. And I'm actually nearly close to the bottom. The bottom comes to about here, so not too far away from the bottom. And just those swells, love it. Of course, she's headless at the moment, so we've got the headless lady, but whatever happens. But yes, you will see that consistently. Do come along and watch those Stitch With Us videos. Chloe and I have lots of fun trying to find questions to answer. And if you have any questions you would like us to answer, or any topics you want us to talk about, be to research it and give it a go. Next one, what I started last week trying to do was the 25/7. Kind of fell off the pace the last couple of days, but I will put in more than 25 minutes each day this week just to catch up, and I'll put my progress in. But this is in my bag that came from the A Date With Your Stitching box. And that's upside down. From a quote from Jane Eyre. This is perfect to have because this is my Songbird Garden series. So this is Gratitude, which is part of the Songbird Garden series by Cottage Garden Samplings. I started this last year on the 1st of January, so it's my new year, new start. And I love those roses. I'm also getting ahead of myself by using this for 25/7 because I want to hit some of my Whip Go goals before they actually come. And I know that this one has not yet been called for. I'll put a photo of where you saw it last time, or where I last remember taking a photo of it. And I love this project. It's gorgeous. It's small. So this is not a small pattern. It's about 159 by 159. However, I've made it small because I've decided to stitch it 1/1 on 32 count Lugana. And this is called Golden Touch by Colour Cascades. And it's a remnant. So this is where I'm up to. I think last time you may have seen this, I had finished the bird. So the bird is here. That's all done. And then I've actually gone up and I finished the roses on the top right hand side of this pattern. And now, as you can see, I've started to outline the leaves down the bottom. I finished the rosebud underneath here as well. And then I just need to fill in these leaves, and then I'm going to work around and we have a basket. So it will probably end up very close to the same size as what's on the pattern at the moment. But yes, so I'm very pleased with the progress I've done. I'm wanting to get all of the leaves and the rosebuds on the right hand side done, and that's my Whip Go goal. But I'm going to go around and see what I can do, doing 25 minutes a day. That basket's going to be fun to do down the bottom, and I cannot wait to do that house. I'm going to do that house last because it's so itchy bitty and tiny. And it's so petite on this fabric. It looks like 1/1. My stitches are looking neat. Sometimes they get a bit crowded. Don't ask me to look at the back. But it's just gorgeous. There you go. You can see some of the tans and the paints coming through. And I love this project. What I have done in this bag is I have the thread on thread drops. It's just taken from my master's set. I don't always do this, but for this project, because it's a 25/7 one, just having those strands when we're using one strand just there ready to take off and then to stitch with is a lot easier than trying to use a tackle box, and I can take it anywhere. It is hard on the eyes some days because it is 1/1, but it works for me. There is one colour in here that is very close to the colour of the fabric, and it does blend in slightly, but I can still see it enough in real life, and that's okay for me. If it annoys me at the end, I'm not going to rip it out. I'm just going to work with it. But yeah. You'll be seeing this quite regularly because I do want to try and keep doing the 24/7. I'm also posting that regularly to my Instagram, which is just Flissy Fish. And I do have a highlights reel ready for it. The next project that I decided to put out on my scroll frame, and I've done a bit of progress on, then I will do continue more on, is my Butterfly Fairy that's by Joan Elliott. It's from this book here, which is the Fairy Enchantment book, and it's the one on the cover. So my fabric is completely different to that, and I'm not doing all like the swirlies with the leaves. But here she is, all stitched up in real life on there. And I have all of the threads in a 45 pocket floss buddy. So this is, I've just kind of not put in every single pocket, I've just done it alternatively. And I also have the chronics, and then that's everything on the back. So this is stitched on 32 count Golden Touch Lugana by Colour Cascades. It's the other part of the fabric that I've used for the Garden Songbird Garden series, the Gratitude. And I started this on the 5th of July in 2019 with Belinda Aussie Stitcher. And this is where I'm up to. So this is, I put a before picture in beforehand. And I've done all the stitching on the bottom 2 pages. And I've now started to work up. So as you can see there, I've started to work on that wing, which is green, and bring that up a bit. I've also finished her bodice. And then I've done some of her hair, which is in the brown. And I've started to do some 1/1 stitching of the arm. So not a lot. I've got a good amount to go. I've got the first another 2 pages to go from there. So they're the top 2 pages, which is the final ones. And I brought this out because this is also another Whip Go goal that I haven't done. I can't remember what month it was that I need to go back and finish. And I would like to get her finished this year. Maybe a stretch. It may be an early finish in January, depending because of holidays. Because we only have another 7 weeks, 8 weeks of holiday school term. So we'll see what happens. If I finish her, I finish her. If I don't, I don't. I know that if I don't finish her this year, she'll definitely be a priority to finish next year. And it was by Joan Elliott. And I think she's so pretty. The last project that I am working on at the moment is, again, pulled out because of Whip Go. And when this goal was pulled, I was not in the mood to work on this project. I'm like, nah, school's too much. I need to have really good focus on it, and I couldn't focus. So I put it off for a couple of months, and I've now come to it this month here. This has a lot of supplies, and it's in this bag here, again from Bags Plus for a reason, and it has a lot of beads, a lot of threads, a lot of silks, and you probably know exactly what it's going to be because it's a chatelaine. They have beads galore, they have silks galore, they're expensive, but my god, they're pretty. Alright, so this is my chatelaine. I have 2 in my stash, but this is the only one that I have kitted and started. And it's the Butterfly Lace Mandala. And I started this as a birthday project in 2018. So there's not a lot of work done on it because I can honestly say that I'm intimidated by it. That's okay. And I put it out during the holidays, and I've fallen in love with it again, and I'll continue to work on it till I get my goal done. Majority is going to be weekends because of brain tiredness during the week. So this is still on my frame. I don't want to take it off my frame at the moment, and this is where I'm up to. So I've been focusing on the swirlies. So I put a photo in I was in before, but I really hadn't done much with the swirlies around the outside. So I've been fussy cutting. No, it's not really fussy cutting, but it's about figuring out where did I want to start with that darker blue thread, then going into the light thread, and where I wanted the stitch and the variegation to go, because that's the silk. Alright, that's better. So we can see that I'm stitching it on opalescent fabric, and this is 28 count Lugana, just plain white Lugana with some opalescent, and I have the bajillion of needle minders on here, and here we go. So we can see that I've got a whole heap of different type of silks. I've also done some of the metallic bat stitching. I've filled in the swells around the outside, and I've done that light blue to dark blue colour of silk. And then I'm starting on the next colour soon. But you can see it's just going to continue to grow outwards. And that's where I'm up to so far, after 3 years. So there's a lot of work to do on that, which is fine. And I'm going to maybe, if I'm not feeling too tired, being back at school again, I might work on that in the evenings. If not, I'll work on that on the weekends. And during the days where I am working, I may definitely do the 25/7 with the Gratitude of the Songbird series. Or I'll pull out the Heaven Earth design and see if I can get going on some of those goals, because there's another couple of Heaven Earth designs that I need to pull out and put some stitches in to catch up on some Whip Go goals. Whip Go is kicking my butt. Alright, because it's been quite a few months, I have had orders come in. There's a little bit here. Some of them is stitchy kindness. Some of it is things that I have bought, and I still have a couple of packages that have gone lost in the mail, because Australia Post is struggling at the moment with our with all the lockdowns that we've had over in the eastern states. It'll get here when it gets here, it'll be fine. The first batch here is actually some stitchy kindness that was from the Up All Night retreat that was hosted by the Black Needle Society in March. I think it was in March, and this one also did a walkabout, so it took a while to come, but it's here, it's fine, we're all good. So this one here started off with this pattern from Teresa Kogan. It's called Rise and Shine, and it's not really my taste, but maybe it might be later on, or it might be some happy mail for other people if they like it. I don't know. I'll keep hold of it for the moment, because it's always good to have sheep and cows and roosters and stars for challenges. So these ones were new at the Needlewear Expo, the first one that was made at the beginning of the year because market was cancelled. They're both by Ink Circles, which is Tracy Horner, I think. And they're the Hey Diddle Diddle Slick Fiddle series. Aren't they cute? And I got the perfect fabric to go with them. I'm going to show you that in a sec. So, Hey Diddle Diddle, Cat with a Fiddle, the cow jumped over the moon, and then I can't remember the rest. So they're stitched with Sulky, but they also have the DMC conversions. And I think they're super cute. I mean, you got this one here, you've got the cow and the fiddle, which is called the Slick Fiddle. You've got stars, and the house, of course. And then this one, you've got that giant moon, and you've got the cow jumping off the moon. Yeah, and I think they're so cute. So when I saw that I won those, I was so happy, and I'm like, really good. Like, just blew my day. I also received a freebie from Teresa Vanette of the Shakespeare's Peddler of Summer Bees and Flowers. Can't get anything from that. The next thing that came in the mail was a fabric order from Be Stitch Me. And I know it takes forever to come to Australia, but I was able to get some fabric from the Friday night fight nights. And I decided to try out some different fabric that I don't always get here. We do have some fabric designers here in Australia, but I wanted to try out the ones that you always talk about. And Be Stitch Me is one that everyone talks out, and I was lucky enough to get in with the Friday fight nights. So I have 4 pieces here, 3 pieces I purchased, and one that I won as a giveaway. This first one is called Badlands, and it is a Lugana 18 by 27, and it's 32 count. So, you know me, I like my 32 count, and I don't have a lot of neutrals, surprising. You wouldn't guess, would you? So this one here is a nice neutral, which would be great to do for anything, and well, I don't, not for this one. And that's coming up quite nice. So you can see the mottling coming through as well, and it's like a grey, tanny colour with some browns. Really great fabric. You can put anything on here. Yeah. So you can see when it's on the or you can see basically it's this when you see it online. But I love that. I've just thought I want to get some neutrals because I have a lot of brightly coloured fabrics, and sometimes you just need something neutral. Then what I wanted to do is I wanted to branch out because I have a lot of 32 count in my stash, and I want to try and get some others. But I am very particular to Evenweave because I like how even it looks. Of course it's even weave, but I don't really like linen. Linen I find is slubby. I don't like how uneven my stitches look. So it's just a personal preference. This one here is called Winter Blues. It's an 18 by 27 piece again. It's even weave, but this time it's actually 40 count. You heard me rightly. I said 40 count. You heard me correctly. I did say 40 count. And this is Winter Blues, and it's, oh god, it's more blue than that. There we go. Winter Blues. So it's a nice blue. It's got some mottling in it, and again, a more of a neutral fabric, but I don't have a lot of blues. I have lots of purples, many pinks, and this is just a nice colour. And I thought doing some 40 count would be great. There we go. So I need to figure out how to organise my fabrics. But yes, 40 count Winter Blues. The next one is also 40 count, same size, and it's called Reef. Look how that changes. So we got the green, tealy colours, and it mottles up into this darker blue. Isn't that gorgeous? There we go. So I thought that would be perfect for any type of project. I mean, just look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So you can't see it very well when it's all folded up like this. So you can see the teal there, but if you pull it back, you can then see the blue. Stunning! And then this is the one that I won. So it's actually 20 count Aida, which is the same as 40 count when you just stitch over one instead of over two. And what I love about it, it's actually called Born in Glory. It is a sparkling Aida, and it is gorgeous. I thought this piece of fabric would be perfect to do this one, to do both of those hours on there. It is a little bit deeper in real life, so it's getting a little blown out because I am filming at night, but they have calculated and both of those fit. So that was my thoughts for that one. Then we came to July, and in July we had two retreats. We had the Frogwatts retreat, year 2, and we also had the Black Needle Society retreat. I can't remember which bit of which this is from. I know this is from Harry Potter, a pesky pixie, and so that's fine, but I can't remember which one of this is from. But this one I won. It's the French Country Sampler by Rosewood Manor, and it is all of those blues in that sampler. I'm not a big alphabet fan, but I do like the motifs at the bottom, so I could potentially maybe just stitch the bottom part and then do something else with that motif at the top, rather than trying to stitch the alphabet, because that's not really my style. And I'll probably also change up the colours, because I'm more of a purple colour, and I have some silks to use that I could use, so just to change it up and see what I want to do instead. But I haven't, this is my first ever Rosewood Manor pattern. I don't have any, so be interesting to see what it's like. This one is 168 by 138. Maybe I could do it one of those 40 counts and do a brightly coloured silk. Lara and Katie from the Black Needle side are also really lovely, because they gave me some stitchy kindness, and I got this wonderful scarf. You may have seen this before. This is the Alice in Wonderland scarf that was released through Love You More Studios, and it's just so soft and so colourful. I cannot wait to wear this to work. Look at all those motifs. You got the hatter's hat, got those roses, you've got the eat me and drink me cups, you've got the teacups. Over here you have more roses, and it's just gorgeous. These are so soft, these scarves, and I cannot wait to wear it at work. The other thing that came from the package from Lara and Katie was this pattern. There's a story behind it. There was, at the retreat, they had a big box of patterns, and then when you won something they would rummage through the box and then pull out a pattern. And this pattern kept getting pulled out. And they kept teasing me with it. I'm like, okay, I need to go and buy it. I need to go and buy this pattern. And I kept forgetting to get it, or just running out of time. So then there was this lady who was part of the troop, who we chat with quite a lot, who said, actually, I'm not going to stitch it. I won this pattern. I'm not going to stitch it. It's not my style. Would you like it? And so she actually got managed to get Lara and Katie to send it to me rather than swapping off postage. It was released at Needlework Expo this year, and it's from Hello from Miss Liz Matthews. And it's the one that everyone's been going on about, the butterfly cloche. And if you know me at all, you know I'm a butterfly fan, and I have to have this. I actually have some fabric that is kind of going around the world somewhere at the moment that's 40 count that I want to stitch this on. I had hoped to do it in November. That's not going to happen because I don't have my fabric. But I'll definitely start it in November. Sometime next year. I love how it's designed in MPIs, but it's also got a DMC conversion, which is great because I'm a DMC girl. And it's just me to a T. So thank you very much to the person who decided to give that to me. You know who you are. I don't want to say your name because privacy reasons. The last thing that I bought is Aldi had a sale over here in Australia, and they were selling kits. So I decided to pick a couple up for myself. And these are two of them. They're small little ones. They're two Disney designs. I have Minnie Mouse and Pooh Bear. I'm going to do this for my best friend who doesn't stitch. And I cannot wait. I'm going to do some changing of the quotes. And I think I'm going to put on there Never Stop Dreaming, because she has had a dream to get through and get a proper job, and has finally got her job, and she's never given up. So I think changing the quote to say Never Stop Dreaming will be perfect. And I just thought this was cute. You never know, someone may need it. I'll probably change the either change the quote or not put the quote in at all and just kind of simplify it. Then the other one that I have is this one here called Life is Beautiful, and I love those colours. Look at those colours. Those pinks and those purples. Oh my god. Is it not me? So Life is Beautiful, and it comes with the hoop, it comes with all the floss, and this comes with Ada. So I may dye the Ada, I may use the Ada, I may use something I have in my stock. We never know. So that's all that I bought. I do have some more fabric coming in the mail, and I did buy some more things from the Black Needle Society because they have amazing things. But I do have some more things coming in the mail from Be Stitch Me, but of course Australia postage is just crazy, and they're not going to get into it because it makes me stress, and I don't need stress. So that's all about what I've bought for cross-stitching wise. Last thing I want to talk about cross-stitching wise before I head into possibly some knitting is what I'm going to plan on doing stitching for October. So obviously I have my chatelaine on the scroll frame, so I'll definitely continue to work on that and finish the center part that I want to do, which is one of my goals for Whip Go. I will continue to work on Gratitude, which is part of the Songbird Garden series by Cotton Garden Samplings. My god, that's a tongue twister. And then I'll continue doing the Silhouette Lady when Chloe and I film. But my main thing is, in November, that's next month. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. And I might be celebrating a birthday in November. And it's a big one. So in November, I am turning 30. And I want to celebrate November with all of you guys as well. So I want you to join with me in stitching the whole month of November, either something purple, because that's my favourite colour, stitching something with a butterfly, because I'm always drawn to butterflies, stitching a fancy lady, maybe, it could be in particular by Mirabilia or Nora Corbett, because I'm thinking of having a hashtag of Nora November, and I'm going to stitch on my Mirabilias. But if you have any fancy lady from any particular company, join in. And so yeah, so my birthday's later in mid-November, so it's on the 19th, and I'm just going to celebrate all of November by stitching on my favourite things. So stitching on butterflies, stitching on purple fabric or purple thread, stitching on Mirabilias, stitching on a Nora Corbett, all of the above. They're things I love to do. And I would love for you to come and join me and celebrate that, because I'm not sure how I'm going to celebrate with family and friends at the moment, because we're still under a lot of restrictions here in Adelaide. So trying to plan anything is a bit horrendous. But I'd love to everyone in the online community to come and celebrate. And let's just make it a whole month of November rather than just the weekend. So join me. They'll put a couple of hashtags. Flissy Fish Birthday Sale could be one of them. And Nora November could be another one if you want to do anything with Nora's. And if you come up with any other ideas or hashtags for November to help celebrate my 30th, come and join me. Alright, last thing I want to show you comes into knitting. So I've done a little bit of knitting since I last filmed. I haven't probably shown it in a while, and it's because I pick it up and put it down, and I love this project. So this is in the In the Dunes wrap by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and I am stitching it in a lace weight yarn that is 50% merino, 50% silk. Nemo's by Collar Girl Collective, and this person is an Adelaide based yarn dyer. And this is what it looks like so far. We have this lace section down here which creates this wavy edge at the bottom, which is gorgeous. And then up the top, what I'm doing now is a section on eyelets. So it goes down diagonally in rows like this. And this is so easy to stitch. It's just like, I've got the pattern down pat. It's a group of 4 stitches and off you go. There you go, you can see the lace better that way. And then about 10 more rows of this eyelet section, and then I'll go back to the lace section. You can see here where my progress, I do have a progress marker on here. I have a little dolphin, and you can see how much I have done since I last showed you. So it's been a while, but I will move that up. Here I go, here's my yarn ball. It's kind of not the best cake, and I do have another yarn. I'm at 20% of the pattern, and I have this 70 grams left on here, and I have another 100 grams, so I may be playing some yarn chicken at the end. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I just picked it up because I wasn't in the mood to stitch. I wasn't in the mood to do this. I'm like, okay, I just need to do something. So I decided to do some knitting. The needles I use interchangeable needles and Trigos, and these ones are a 4mm, which is a size 6, and of course I had them on the red cables. But I did splurge. In September they had to do the big Bendigo. Is Bendigo? Yeah, they did the Bendigo show online again this year because Victoria's been in lockdown, and they had these. And they brought out the minis, the shorties, but in the regular sizes. So I think these ones are from 3.5mm through to 5mm tips. And they have 5cm and 8cm in here. Only other thing I have in knitting is I do have an advent box for October. I'm not a Halloween person, but this box was amazing, and I haven't been opening it every day. I'm going to probably do, in the next couple of days, I'll open the first half of the box with you, and I'll release that as an extra. If you want to watch it, you can. If you don't want to watch it, I did buy the box last year around August time. So it is a Harry Potter themed yarn box, but I bought it last year, so I'm still happy to open it with you. If you don't want to watch because of your views, that's fine. I'll release that as an extra maybe towards the end of the week to beginning next week sometime. and you'll be able to see my reactions to that. And yeah, but thank you for coming along and watching the video. I know it's been a long one because I've done a lot in the last month and a half, 2 months, and hopefully now getting this filmed and then edited, you will be able to see me a lot more because it was just piling up. But yeah, we are in term 4 of school, so we're in week 2, so we have 7 weeks to go, I think. 5 remaining with my year 11s. Get them through. No. 4.5 remaining with my year 11s. Let's get them through so they can get their SACs. And then it's fingers crossed about trying to get wet for next year, basically. So they're talking about class sizes at the moment, and I'm hoping, considering that we have year 7 starting next year, so we have 2 cohorts starting next year, that I may be at the same school. Keep your fingers crossed. So thank you for joining me and watching this video. I do love all of your comments and all of your questions. I know I take a while to respond to comments. I'm just so busy and sometimes the brain forgets about them, but I am trying to do better, and Chloe reminds me to look at them too. So please let me know if you're going to join me to celebrate my birthday in November by stitching anything purple, anything with butterfly, or any type of fancy lady. We'll use the hashtag FlissyFishBirthdaySal, or we'll also probably use November. And if you have any other ideas for hashtags, let me know. We'll put them, we'll get a collection of them that we can use all the way through November. But yes, come and join me to celebrate my 30th in November. Thank you again to everyone who subscribes and watches both my videos and Chloe's. And we'll see you next week soon. Not sure if it'll be a stitch with me or a special video or an update from Chloe. We'll see what happens. Be amazing, keep on stitching, and let's make the world a beautiful place. Bye.